But wait, there's more. I'm a little out of breath. I just did my second workout and worked all day. Um, I, but wait, there's more. Usually, it's a follow up to a full disclosure. This one is a follow up to a full disclosure. At least one of the news items I'm correcting is, but it's also a follow up of the P list I did about 10 legends, and you'll see why. That's going to be the bulk of the video, but I want to get to a couple of news items first. Georgia World Class Wrestling. Um, Chris Nelms claimed they drew over 200. Clearly bullshit. Most of the wrestlers who texted me about it or messaged me about it said between 55 and 75. Turns out they were wrong too. Wrestlers can't count crowds. What the fuck? How many times does this have to be fucking proven? Jesus fucking Christ. I appreciate the effort, but Jesus. They did move most of the crowd to one side, so it would look better and that kind of thing. But someone I trust infinitely, who actually like physically counts, said they would say 120 paid, 150 total roughly. We'll go with that. I want to make sure we get that number out there because it is accurate, or certainly more accurate than other numbers that have been thrown out, particularly by the promoters and the people who run events. And again, April's coming, and I'm going to put out that top 10 list of the biggest fucking bullshitters going. You don't want to be on that list, or maybe you fucking do. I don't know. I don't know how fucking dumb people think. I haven't been one in a long, long time. All right. What else we got going on? Speaking of drawing, so Renegade Championship Wrestling, run by Tyler Gaza. Wait, Gaza, fucking names. Run by that kid. Um, they're doing a charity show in conjunction with the school. How many did they get? This is a place that when somebody went to review a Renegade Championship Wrestling show, they had like 33 drawn. They usually get around 50. Sometimes they get in their 70s. But he's been getting better and better as a promoter, better and better as a booker, taking advice and guidance from some of the smartest people going. $470 paid. Hear that. Understand that. $470 paid. That charity show. There are certainly other shows that have a fundraising bent to them. Tyler, Renegade Championship Wrestling, take a bow. 470. I'm going to talk about it in full disclosure, of course, but holy fucking shit. And there are pictures of it and videos of it, of that fucking packed ass crowd. Impressive. But what are we here to talk about? We're not here to talk about that greatness exclusively. We're here to talk about greatness. That's Jeff G. Bailey. Did you see that thumbnail pic? I dug through the archives of photos featuring me to see if I could find a good one of me and Jeff. I have a number of good photos of me and Jeff. I'm very proud of the good photos of Jeff and I, and Jeff and me. I'm very proud of those photos. But I wanted to find something different. I found that great thumbnail pic. What is it of? The reason it keeps flashing on my face is because I'm watching Demolition Man, and it's the part where they're having sex with the little... Anyway, don't worry about it. I just wanted to find something special, and there it was. Jeff trussed up like Hannibal the fucking cannibal Lecter, and me. The reason I said that this was not just a follow-up to the last full disclosure, but also to the P-list about the 10 who would be legends. Jeff just made a powerful argument about considering him for legend. Let's go ahead and find it. I really can't say it better than he said it himself. though I have a few additional thoughts on the matter. This isn't going to be that long of a video. I know I say that all the time, but it's really not. But this man is a star. He's the greatest thing anyone's ever seen in this building. He is to professional wrestling what Jesse Owens was to the Olympics, what Jackie Robinson was to baseball, and what Muhammad Ali was to boxing. He is Randy Moss and Tupac Shakur all rolled into one. Just like the colossal African-American Superman promo that introduced K-Krush, I knew this too was a tremendous promo when I cut it in late 1999. It's fair to say that it is now a verified fact. The WWE Network cherry-picking those lines and laying them over the top of some K-Krush action footage is not just an affirmation of such, but a complete corroboration and recognition of its excellence. Their choices really do speak to the timeless potency of not only the promo, but the man being spoke about. Check it out and witness true greatness personified. If you think this reads boastful, just remember that facts can't be modest. And he goes on to talk about another angle, but I really want to focus on, I just want to focus it on Jeff. So think about it. Editors, producers who put that thing together. Instead of writing out some narration to go over the action, which would have given them a writing credit, and which they would have been very happy to do, and it would have been tailor-made to fit the idea that they were getting across. They stumbled upon that promo, and it was so fucking good that there's nothing else that they could imagine using. So they used it. In 2020, you have managers who've barely been doing it and are really embarrassing the word manager, who are retiring. Like anyone who gives a fuck. You've got so-called managers that are just friends of the promoter or some hanger-on. There are managers who are great in Georgia. And it appears getting even better. But the one who was manager of the year, Matt Hankins, would openly cite the influence of Jeff G. Bailey. PCW was always good, but it was the inclusion of Jeff G. Bailey that really launched, and skyrocketed the greatest angle in PCW history. And I dare say the greatest angle that Georgia wrestling's seen in 10 fucking years, rivaled only by the Jerry Palmer heel turn. Jeff G. Bailey. Jeff G. Bailey is a part of all of these things. I was going to make this a pro wrestler's handbook. The problem is whenever I do a pro wrestler's handbook, 100 people watch only. Fucking dickheads, right? And what say you now, people who think Jeff G is overrated, when the WWE, who again could have just written narration, could have just had R-Truth narrate over his own footage, found that and realized it was so exquisite in its language, so perfectly delivered, mixed so well with the footage that they were going to put with it. It was the only audio that was worthy of the video. Jeff G. Bailey probably will never truly work for the big time. He may, but chances are he never will. And for most who have bought into this notion that the WWE, it's WWE or bust, that if you never worked for the WWE, then you were never WWE worthy, and thus you were never one of the greatest. And even Gary Lamb, who loves Jeff G. Bailey and openly admits that he learns from Jeff G. Bailey, had to put the caveat on there of indie greatest of all time, which immediately, in the eyes of most people, would diminish it. But here's the truth. There are a handful of people who truly could operate on a top level. Jeff G. Bailey's only crime, and again, full disclosure, we're fucking great friends, and I think the world of him. So to you, this might seem too large of a statement, but if I can claim something in my defense, is that I'm fucking right. A lot. And I throw my opinion out there a lot. I don't hide behind mealy mouth, middle of the road. Like Jeff G. Bailey, I make big fucking choices. Listen to the words of that promo again. If he's going to put you over, he's going to put you over. Remember when Drew Blood wrote that bullshit trying to fucking help Doc Brock become manager of the year? How did that fucking work out, by the way? And he claimed, well, Matt Hankins and Jeff G, they overshadow. Really? You listen to that promo, is that Jeff G. Bailey overshadowing K-Krush? Or is it him helping to make him? Because that's what managers really fucking do. Jeff G. Bailey has made men. The talent under his charge would say the same. And a number of them have WWE contracts in their hot little hand. But he didn't only make them by managing them. He made them by opposing them too. The true measure of a legend is somebody in wrestling who makes others great. Makes careers happen. And in that regard, Jeff deserves his place amongst the greatest managers. Period. It's damning with faint praise in the sense that while it is acknowledging something that is true, it does show what a crime it is that managers simply aren't as big a deal on the largest stages. Are you going to tell me that Jeff G. Bailey is not better than Truth fucking Martini, who used to win the Wrestling Observer fucking voted Manager of the Year awards all the time? How fucking hilarious is that for me to say now? Jeff G. Bailey or Truth Martini, you fucking smart mark fucking bitches? It's Jeff G. Bailey. And he's not done yet. If it is true that he is taking on this role of fucking teaching people, you know what he's going to do? He's going to help make more careers. And at the end of the day, isn't that what counts the most? At the end of the day, isn't that the difference? The fundamental difference between Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. Remember that debate that lasted decades, older people? Who's greater? I drew more. In a sense, I drew more. No, but I was the better worker in the sense that I made more money and kind of but I'm the better regarded worker. La, 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 la. Who made people? Hulk Hogan made other people money, not denying it. Ric Flair made fucking careers. Those of you for whom Sting is your favorite wrestler, thank Ric Flair for that fucking shit. Because without Ric Flair, you would have never heard of fucking Sting. And you certainly wouldn't regard him as your favorite wrestler of all fucking time. And he wouldn't be commanding $15K per appearance right now. By the way, Superstars Fan Fest. It's a big fucking expensive roster you have it. Hear more about that shit in my Patreon videos. Plug. Jeff G. Bailey, who he himself, as magnificent as he thinks he is, always pulls up short. I talk to him all the time. Always pulls up short of really saying that he's one of the greatest. But fuck him. He is. And we're lucky to fucking have him. And someday he's going to win that Legend Award. I would say right now it's his to lose. The WWE thing doesn't make it that he's a legend, but it does put a finite point on the fact that he spoke words at the inception of K-Krush's career, the man who would become R-Truth, that immediately rose, that immediately lifted him to the top in that promotion, which had syndicated television when that fucking mattered the most. And he did it by making bold choices, strong choices, and delivering them perfectly. Apart from Matt Hankins, Logan Chase, and to a lesser extent, Doc Brock. Do I really need to explain why all the other people that we consider top managers, why it's fucking laughable when I bring up the name Jeff G. Bailey? Who have you fucking made? Who have you fucking elevated? And if the answer is I'm not sure, then you're not great. Wrestlers. Who have you made? Whose career have you elevated? And if the answer is when you're being honest, not just bullshitting to try to... I don't think anybody... Well, not really. I mean, I did lose to this one guy, but it didn't really seem to do... Then you're not great yet. Bookers. Promoters. Whose careers have you truly elevated? Nah, don't give me this fucking hyperbole bullshit. I'm talking about who has learned under your charge. Who have you booked in such a way that they were seen as more prominent? And if the answer is none, then you're not great. Trainers. This is my new bugaboo lately. Who became great because of you, not in spite of you? Greatness. It should be strived for. It should be a pure thing when we're looking for it. It should be evident. And it should be acknowledged and embraced instead of torn down because you feel threatened because you're not great. So I acknowledge Jeff G. Bailey's greatness. And I'm very happy for my friend. But more importantly than that, I'm very happy for Georgia wrestling. Because Jeff G. Bailey is a Georgia wrestling guy. And he's one of the greatest of all time. Not in the indies, but period. As the meme says, change my mind. But you can't fucking do it. Because if you're honest with yourself, he is. And if you're honest with yourself, chances are you're not. So what are you going to do with that knowledge? What you choose to do with that knowledge is your measure now. This has been, but wait, there's more.